in session here on Six Music. That is Zebra, and that is Lighter Better. 2 more numbers to come from Ella and Inez. We should start perhaps at the beginning. Did it also, obviously, putting it to one side the fact that you are twin sisters, was there always an element that you would eventually, inevitably end up making music together?
I think so, maybe. I started out like on my own, and I didn't want to play with Ella because I don't know, I think when you're twins you want to like
separate each other,
have your own identity.
Yeah,
but
we both like played songs and like covers and learned like so it's not super weird, and we know each other so well. So
it's understandable what you're saying, because like you say, I would imagine you do get grouped together like almost as one entity, you know, because of all the ramifications of being twins. And it's funny, you know, we were talking before about Warm Dusha, who I know that you're big fans of. And I did tell you that the disco lights that I bought, that are just flashing away now, I bought especially for Warm Dusha session. But Ben from the band, he's got a twin brother as well, who's a brilliant guy, identical. And the funny thing is that when Ben couldn't play bass in Warm Dusha early doors, Miles, who's in a great band called Wooloo, Miles would step in. Now they're identical, but Ben had shorter hair and Miles had longer hair, and so people would see Warm Dusha one week and see them the next week, and they go, Ben, what's happened to your hair? How did you manage this? But the great thing is that they describe themselves as womb mates.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Amazing.
That is amazing, isn't it? So you can use that. I'm sure that they will be very, very happy about it. But it's a brilliant thing, you know. And also, before Gid gets back involved, Zebra, the band. Sorry, mate. Zebra, the band. You know, it's an unusual name for a band anyway, but fine. But you do realise that in 20 years' time, you're still going to be saying to people will be saying, it's Zebra, but why is it with a 7?
Yeah,
I know.
Is it a bit of a kind of a? Is it a little bit of kind of a? Why did we do that?
I don't know.
I don't really mind. I think it looks good, and it's
because I think it makes sense because it's a half Z.
Yeah, it does make sense. We knew what it was, didn't we, Gid?
We did. Well, I think it might be similar to, as we were discussing recently, Mark, band names and also names of songs which are now concertinaed, aren't they? Have you noticed that they do these days? I'm going to sound like I'm 110 now. You know? So, for example, Bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's spelled BRDRMM, I believe. Yeah, but that is Bedroom. And maybe in 20 years' time I'll say, well, what was going on here then?
No, I call them Bedroom.
Well, if you want to as well. That's quite rhythmic, isn't it?
I didn't know it was Bedroom.
I think whatever works. So having worked together, you've worked also with Tor. Is it Tor Johansson as well?
Yes.
What does Tor bring to Zebra? How does that work?
I think he brings like a structure to the songs, like a pop vibe. I don't know.
And you're not you're not resistant. I mean, the danger would be with what you do that it would get dealt with too much, changed too much, or adapted too much, and obviously you'd fight against that. So you need somebody who's going to be very much aware of what you want to do.
Yeah. I think that's been really like we have almost never like not agreed on anything. Like we have sometimes he has maybe try this, and we're like, no, that didn't work at all. But then he's also like, yeah, it didn't really work. Like we have been quite like had similar thoughts, so that's been nice. But we've always like, it has to feel right or good.
Some producers consider it their job to go in and leave their sticky fingers all over everything, don't they? Like the Phil Spector thing, if you like, for want of a better example. But you can tell when Phil Spector had produced a record, you could tell. Whereas Steve Albini will just make sure he goes in and records the band and make sure it sounds like the band want to sound and normally sound, you know. So there are two different forces at play there, aren't there? So is he kind of in the middle? He just kind of lets you get on, but throws in, because he's hugely experienced and successful.
Yeah. I think he, because we're quite like lazy, so I think he helped like with, okay, let's just try this and do this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
like-
I feel like it's more to the middle of like
Yeah.
not taking over. He doesn't like take over in that sense. I feel like it's
Right.
more
a collaboration.
Okay.
but also like being mindful of us and like what we want to do. So
And how's that
Yeah.
translate to when you play live as well? Because you've toured with Telemann, and you've got some shows coming up this weekend, of which more in a bit. They're festival shows. How are you enjoying that side of things?
that's like the best, I think.
Yeah.
Or I've like the more we've done it, it's just been more and more fun, and because you get better at doing it live, and
Yeah.
You get more confident, obviously, don't you?
yeah.
I mean, your parents were in a band or bands, is that right?
Yeah.
What
like
kind
all
of
our
band?
lives.
Like very like progressive.
Progressive rock vibes,
Weird.
folky.
Oh, that sounds good. Have they made records as well? The records we should seek out. Very much sought after on Discogs. Go for quite a few quid, I should think. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but they have one record. Well, they made more, but they didn't release all of them. But one with a band, they were called Pingvin Orkestern.
Which is Penguin Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
But in
all right,
Swedish.
yeah. Of course, yeah.
So,
okay.
But in Swedish.
Quite inspired by Penguin Cafe Orchestra.
Okay, got you. All right, nice one.
Excellent. Oh, I can feel a session coming up.
Exactly, we can look out for that.
Okay.
Do you want to play another couple of numbers for us now?
Yes, sure.
What's the first of these going to be?
Rude Body. Okay.